Good morning, Laura and Mvula. Mercury Prize nominated Laura and Mvula. How does that sound?
Sounds very good.
And what is it about your third album that's really resonated with people and has landed you here today, do you think?
I don't know. Perhaps it's just faster songs and louder. I don't know.
Right.
Which I am sure it's way more nuanced than that. I would hope so, because I worked bloody hard to make something that I find genuinely exciting to listen to. I listen to it a lot even now. And I think it was something that was very much needed when we're coming in out of a season of like intense like turmoil. Like, it's really chaotic right now. And I know that my response was always going to be a creative one, and something that felt colourful and vibrant and exciting, music that you want to dance to, music that makes you literally feel good when you hear it.
So that was the aim going into it, to create something, as you say, more vibrant, more upbeat, and It
was more selfish at the beginning, because I think I needed that. I was coming off the back of a complete shift with the team that was around me and trying to make sense of that change in environment, trying to make sense of the fact that I couldn't write stuff for a while and not wanting to do the same thing that I'd done before. That's something that really frustrates me, just generally as a creative. And so it took a minute to figure out what that would be. And then I fell upon Pink Noise.
And I know you've spoken quite a lot about your struggles with labels in the past, and that's how it happened. Recently this week we've seen Raye and her struggles with Polydor, who she's now left, and she says that they wouldn't let her release her debut album. Can you empathise with her struggles? Can you relate to that? What do you think?
It's an ongoing thing, isn't it? Like, these things, there's always going to be a struggle with artistry and commerce. It's like it's existed for a long time, this particular wrestling match. And I just think I'm glad to be at the side of it now, where even though at that point of what felt like humiliation, chaos, not really sure what, smoke and mirrors of it, which can be really frightening when you're talking about your craft and your bread and butter, something that should make you feel empowered and you should be able to champion. It took a long time for me to get to a place where I didn't feel at the mercy of the powers that be. And so, man, Atlantic keeps saying thanks for saying good things about us in the press, but I'm not really doing it just for the sake of. It literally has been a complete culture change for me. And there are personnel, there are people in these major labels and other corporations who are music lovers and who do listen and who do care. And it's possible for it to exist as a healthy partnership. But it just takes a lot of courage and a lot of transparency.
For someone, I guess, who's come out the other side, you're here as a Mercury nominated artist, what kind of message of support would you give to someone like Raye who's going through that at the moment?
Keep your head up. I know it sounds like a cliche, but really hold your form. I was made to feel so trashy during that time. Even the other day I heard someone said, internally it's Laura Mvula's still spoken poorly of because of what she outing a label or whatever. I once recently was having a conversation with my 74-year-old uncle who doesn't look a day older than 55. And we were saying, what's your secret? And he just said, I don't let things bother me. I never have done. And I know that can sound like a blanket thing, but I'm sort of learning the art of saving all the big emotion and the care and the heart for the music, and everything outside of that, I use my head and my head only. And take your time.
And that variety that's on the album, I mean, you know, we've got Simon Neil on there. What was it like to work with like someone
what
like
a
him?
legend.
Yeah.
Like, firstly, I wanted to surprise myself. It was the label who were encouraging me to have a feature on the record. The record was finished, and you know, sometimes I can be like a stroppy child when I'm wanting my way, and which is a good thing. I think I celebrate that about myself. And it got to the stage where I wasn't sure, like, I don't want to just slap someone on this record. I don't believe in that. And I knew that it would be the song What Matters. And I said, I don't really know who it is, but I described the kind of voice that I heard. And it was my manager, Matthew, that said, Biffy Clyro. And I was like, oh yeah. And then it was really fast. Like, we texted once or twice. He had the track, he sang his thing. I was like, this is amazing. He was like, thank you so much. And then that was it. And I was just like, you know, how amazing in these times when it can feel so barren and sterile because we're all in four walls, to have something so authentic come and organic. Like, that was a real, like, wow, okay. Music is way more powerful than a global pandemic.
Talking about pandemic, you know, God willing, it looks like shows are getting back. Mm-hmm. How's that looking for you? Like, what shows have you got coming up? Are you is there a bit of apprehension to get back on the road? How are you feeling about it?
It's weird. It depends. Like, I'm noticing that it depends how I wake up. I've got 2 shows in the diary for this period. One in London, one in Edinburgh. It's so strange to like not. It's like I've taken it for granted that you get dates in the diary and then you do the shows. Like, that has never been complicated, and now there's all these factors to consider. So I'm trying to hold things lightly, even though that feels impossible, because I want nothing more than to share this music live. To me, I've heard people say things like, oh yeah, Laura's music's amazing, but live is a different thing. And I can connect with that. I think I come to life in a different way in the live performance. So for me, I can't lie, I'm slightly freaking out that when is this thing, is this ever going to be again? That's a terrifying thought, but one that we're all living with daily. Mm.
And just finally, there's a 25 grand prize up for grabs should you win. Where's that money going? Have you given it any thought?
No, I didn't know that was
There you go, it's something to think about, isn't it?
Okay, I'm going to give that some thought.
Get thinking.